Hey, what's going on everybody? Servo here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about the newest event and some frustration revolving around it. I originally was going to do a Reddit review today, but then I came across a post that seems to be like very trending over there. And I was reading through the post and I can kind of understand where some players are coming from. So we're going to go over that post. We're going to go over how to get clovers easier and also just talk about the frustration that some players may be encountering with this new event. If you guys enjoy my content, please be sure hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's jump right into it. Alrighty, so here's the post by Occasional Sim Gamer. They said, "Am I the only one frustrated with the Lucky You event? If I understand it correctly, we need to be able to find 100 3-leaf clovers to craft 10 4-leaf clovers to craft the end of the rainbow cauldron, along with 10 iron ingots and 20 gold ingots. We can find 4-leaf clovers, but they only spawn once every 90 minutes. If you're lucky enough to have a Rift in Time expansion and upgraded the ancient vacuum a number of times, then it's a little easier to find them all. Or you can wait until the last day and hope to find enough 4-leaf clovers to craft the cauldron. Really, I'm struggling to think of a way this could be more intensive for those of us who only have a limited amount of time to play most days, and we're only given 7 days to do it. I spent about an hour just running through each biome and found 1 4-leaf clover and 12 3-leaf clovers. I really want the cauldron, so I'm going to do my best. I just don't appreciate the needless difficulty for a supposed cozy game. A rant complete." And then if we read through the comments, there are a lot of comments down here that are pretty much saying the same thing. So one user was saying, "I'm glad someone said it. It took me ages to find 10. And then I realized that I'd really have to keep grinding it out with the vacuum or something to get enough for the cauldron, which is frustrating." We got another user that said, "I didn't even have enough time in game today to check each biome. I don't like overlapping time events. Not easy for time limited players. I try a couple of the star path items daily. Now I have to try to collect clovers." Another user said, "I haven't seen a single one. These devs need to realize people have jobs, kids, and responsibilities. We don't have time to be relentless hunting pixels." So there were a ton of comments on that post, and they were mostly, the same thing. So the thing about it, I will say, is this is a limited time event. And if you complete the limited time event, you get an amazing reward. That's how it works for most games. Now, I definitely understand that not everyone has enough time to do certain things. And I think that the developers understand that as well, because they have offered up a few options. You can do some trading. They also have the the rates, which we don't know how crazy that's going to be. It could be super insane. And that will be on the 17th. So I like that they did at least think about that. They were going to buff the rates for us for one day on St. Patrick's Day. And then also they put like another fail-safe behind it if you don't have time. And that is with the 4-leaf clover spawning every 90 minutes. So I feel like from a developer standpoint, they did what they could do to help players that don't have as much time to do that. So you could log on like every hour and a half, or log on every say even 4 hours, and you're guaranteed at least 1 4-leaf clover. So maybe you could check it in the morning, try and get your 4-leaf clover, and then later on in the night, if you do play, you could check your 4-leaf clover, and that would be guaranteed 2 a day on that. So you only need 10 total to make the rainbow cauldron. So I feel like they did put a few fail safes in there, that way it can guarantee you to at least get the end game event like item, as long as you put in, some effort. Now, the frustration I could definitely see coming with this event is actually finding the 4-leaf clovers or the 3-leaf clovers if you don't have the vacuum. So for example, I'm going to go over to my Sunlit Plateau. And let's just say I haven't been playing the game for a few hours. So I know that my clovers have spawned. So every clover will spawn like 5 minutes in your valley, but they do have a max, which I feel like is like 9 total after that, like hour and a half or so. But there could be none in the Sunlit Plateau. I could have 4 in the Forgotten Lands. Now, if I have a vacuum, I can not only pick them up, but I can go over here and see that, okay, I have 2 in the sunlit plateau. So even if I know I have 2 on the sunlit plateau, I can definitely see how frustrating it could be trying to find just 2 without using my vacuum. So I can imagine, as a player that don't have a vacuum and they have a fully decorated valley, you don't know if you're wasting your time looking for the clovers or if there's actually a clover here. So one way that you can find clovers easier is obviously go into furniture mode and then just slowly scan through, check behind fences like this, and just keep making your way. And as you see, we actually have a clover right here, so I could drag that over to my character and I could pick that up. Now I have a second clover that is supposed to be in here somewhere, and I gotta say, I have checked this entire biome in every possible way and I cannot find it, even for myself. And I know, like, I know myself that there is one in here. So imagine a player that doesn't know there's another clover in here somewhere. They could be looking endlessly forever. Or say there wasn't another one in here, they could still be looking forever. So I can see that as being the major, like, frustrating part of the event. So I found one clover. Yeah, there's definitely another one here somewhere. So then let's say I go and get these 2 clovers. I could then move over to my plaza and I could spend time, could be wasting time looking for clovers. I found one right here, but let's say there wasn't any in here. So then I'm like checking this biome everywhere and I just can't find any. Well, then you have to move on to the next one. So then doing this over and over for every biome, I could see it could be very frustrating and make players be like, all right, I'm done. I'm done wasting time. So I do get it. That ancient vacuum definitely is a game changer. I mean, it is. It saves so much time, not only for this event, but so much in the future. Now, they did end up adding the slow cooker for Tiana, which is the equivalent of the ancient cooker. So maybe someday they're going to add a free-to-play version of the ancient vacuum. And I don't know what villager would bring that in, but maybe they have plans for it. We'll have to wait and see. It would definitely help for events like this. And again, remember, there is trading and stuff, but I can understand why some people are a little like scared to do some trading now with all those bans. And now another thing you can do to help you out, you can go over to your settings, you can go to sound, you can turn your master volume up, turn your music off, turn the voice volume off, and the SFX volume, you can turn that all the way up. And then if you're running by, you may end up hearing the little sparkle sound effects, like from here or from the hole in the ground that you can dig. So that could potentially help you out when you're looking for clovers. So I do feel like it's kind of like anything. Whenever they add these events, not every player, I guess, is supposed to have the exact same experience. So for example, I play some other games too, and they have limited time events, and I do not have time to balance multiple games. Plus my job and stuff, so I usually miss out on, you know, other things, other limited time things. So I definitely understand the frustration, and it's one of those, I guess the developers want to constantly give something for players to do, so that's why these events are a little bit grindy. So for example, especially if you're a long-term player and you don't really have anything to do, this a little like a lucky clover event is something fun to a lot of players, so they can sit there and be hunting down the clovers constantly. So what I would really do, like I said, if you are just very limited on time and you're struggling to find these clovers, I would just not even like look for them constantly, you know, because there's just too many biomes, there's just too much ground to cover. I would wait an hour and a half every 2 hours and then look for clovers. And then I would just quickly, you know, do a little aerial scan here. So for example, like the beach, I would kind of like scan through here every 2 hours and see if you could spot any clovers at all. Maybe you'll spot a 4-leaf clover in here, and just kind of, you know, work your way around, try to cover all the corners and stuff until you end up finding the clovers. So as a quick scan here, I'm not really seeing anything at all. There we go. So we found one clover right here. So then I could go and bring that to my character, which is standing over here. You don't even have to like walk around. So every 2 hours do that. See if you can find any clovers and then move on to the next biome. And then just keep looking around. And we got one right here. Okay, so we're going to bring that back to our character. So we've already found 2. And then I would move on to like my Frosted Heights and see if I could find any there. Remember, if you see something green and you're wondering if it's a clover or not, if you see any of the brown around here, then it is not a clover. So you can just keep moving on and you can just keep aiming up until you find it. And then you might have to switch to a different angle to see if you can find one. Frosted Heights, I feel like is easier. Here we go. We got one right here. So we've already found 3 in a short time. And then I can go and pick that one up. And then obviously you want to try and find that 4-leaf clover. Some of your biomes may be more decorated than the others. And if you like are really struggling with the biome, maybe leave that one for last. And try and find as many as you can out of the other ones. That way, in case you do run out of time, you can then just go and leave that one biome that you usually struggle with or that's fully decorated. So that's just some tips on what I would do for it. And again, we do have boosted rates on the 17th. Yeah, the 17th, so we don't know how big that's going to be. And just check every few hours, and eventually you'll get 10 of these. That's all you need is just 10 4-leaf clovers. And you can also craft 10 of these into one of these. And I think at the end of the week, you should be good. And then if you miss out on the event, don't worry about it, because throughout the year, you know, a lot of people are going to have lots of extras and they can gift them to you or trade them, or they'll end up bringing the event back next year as well. So I wouldn't let it, you know, stretch you out too much. It's definitely, I understand it, you know, if you do own Eternity Isle, that's just one of the benefits of, you know, purchasing the DLC. I guess it was, you know, to make things easier going forward. It's kind of like the gift that keeps on giving if you did end up getting the DLC. It just seems the Ancient Vacuum helps out with so much. I do hope that they end up making a free-to-play version. And like I said, now that they actually have the slow cooker, I fully believe eventually they will add one of these like Ancient Vacuum equivalent that's going to end up having Dreamlight with it. So I think if you're limited time and you don't have the Ancient Vacuum, I do think it's a pretty good balance. I do think Gameloft made it where it's pretty attainable to get at least one of these End of Cauldron within the week, plus with the boosted events, plus with the every 9-minute like backup for the 4-leaf clover, and they have trading in the game. But that doesn't mean it's not necessarily, you know, super frustrating, and you may just not be able to get multiple of the cauldrons for now. But you guys let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Let me know how your experience has been for the event. If you were to ask me what I think of the event overall, as I think it was fun. I think it's a nice event that they ended up giving us, which I was not expecting. I thought our next event surely was just going to be the Easter event. And I really do appreciate that they gave us another like holiday to celebrate. They gave us another event. Some amazing items, like that End of Cauldron item is so amazing. And I really like looking for the clovers too. I spent a good amount of my time the first day hunting clovers, and then after that I fell back onto just the vacuums. And it's just because it's really fun, you know, it takes you back to your childhood when you were looking for clovers. I mean, that was the thing. Clovers were never necessarily easy to find, and then 4-leaf clovers were like impossible to find. So I feel like the fact that we have a clover hunt going on in the valley, it's supposed to be a little bit difficult, you know. It's supposed to be based around the whole theming of it. It's mainly around luck. You have to get lucky to end up finding this. And I think it's a pretty good event overall. I hope they continue to make amazing events like this. And yeah, let me know you guys' thoughts in the comment section below. Have a wonderful day. Good luck out there, and I'll see you in the next one.